Check 1, 2. Hello, hello. Welcome, SimFans. Welcome back to the channel for this late night stream on a Thursday evening. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I think we have a good flight in store for us in the beautiful Zibo 737 and X-Plane 11. Yes, there is still room, SimFans, for this aircraft and for this simulator on our hard drives. At least that's how I think. All right, so I appreciate all of you. Hello, Ali. Hello, Captain Matt. And hello, the rest of you. Looks like we have 3 on right now. I do appreciate you joining. Do anticipate more getting on board here as we go along. So I've already got this flight, SimFans, partially pre-flighted. I've got it up to the point of like entering the FMC, all the routes for the SIDS and the stars. So we got our approaches, we got our departures in, and we can see that right here, SimFans, for our flight. So we've got quite a few waypoints to go through. Yeah, and it should be a pretty good flight though tonight. So we're right at the point now, SimFans, of being ready to get our APU unit started up. So we'll go ahead and get that started right now. Hey, Rojo, good evening. WMKK Tower, hey, welcome to the channel, fans. Do appreciate you joining tonight. Good to see you. Money, woohoo. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Hey, good to see all of you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Great to see you. SimFans, excellent. All right, so we'll get this APU started up. And so we'll just go ahead and get this forward fuel pump number 1 on. And once that low pressure light goes off, of course, we're going to then light this APU up. So we're going to do that right here. Hold that just for a few seconds. I usually wait until the low oil pressure comes on. And once that light's on, let go of that start button. And we will see the exhaust gas temperature, that meter, that's going to rise up, and then it'll come back down slowly as it kind of cools off as it gets going there. And we see that happening right now. And if we go on the outside of the aircraft, we should see the beautiful particle system in X-Plane show us all these little particles from the, from the heat coming off of that APU, and we can hear it. Hopefully you can hear it. Scuba Cruiser, good evening, sir. Welcome to the channel. Welcome, welcome. All right, getting that bad boy fired up here, SimFans. Let's go back in and let's check that out and see kind of where we're at. So once we see this come down to about 4.5 or somewhere between 4 and 5, usually these inner blue, there it goes, the inner blue for the APU generator is ready to go. And of course, I've got my SimFans, I got my great state-of-the-art checklist here, right? So we're good to go. So now that is started, I'm still catching up. I've been in Microsoft Flight Simulator so much lately, as some of you know, and so switching back and forth to X-Plane. Let me know if you like the mix-up. I'm thinking of maybe doing X-Plane on Thursday nights, Microsoft Flight Simulator on Saturday nights. By the way, I do have a live stream scheduled for this coming Saturday, 8:30 Central Standard Time, and that's a multiplayer. Friends, for those of you that want to do a fly-in with me, I am so looking forward to that. It'll be my first, so hopefully I got it set up all right, and the information is in that, so you check it out. All right, so the APU is going. We got to switch this over to APU for our electrical system. So we're going to hit those inner switches there, and then once we do that, we'll want to hit this bleed, and we'll hear the air getting back to our passengers in the back in the cabin, which is good because they're probably getting a little warm here in Dallas-Fort Worth. And then once we have that done, of course, we've got to go up here and switch the alternating current to APU generator. So now that it's pulling from there. All right. So now we'll notice, nothing to worry about, but we're going to see when we go down here, that master caution, that's just normal. That just always comes on there. Well, Money, I think when you've caught me, I did, buddy, do Microsoft Flight Simulator the last Saturday. So, yeah, but you're right, Money. When you've caught me here, I have been playing X-Plane because I think you're with me or with us on Thursday night, and I did do X-Plane last Thursday. So, yeah, let me know. I mean, I'm happy with mixing it up or focusing on Microsoft Flight Simulator, but I do have fun with this simulator as well. WMKK Tower. Well, Malaysia, okay, it's 9:35 a.m. Yes, I need to account for that, WMKK. Welcome again. And then Pablo for a pilot student, X-Plane 11 or FS 2020. All right. Well, hey, thank you for the feedback. I do appreciate it, all of you. Excellent. All right, so where are we at, SimFans? So we better make sure the parking brake's set, right? Or that might be problems for us. And it is not. So we're going to go over here, get that set. Got the Bravo Honeycomb cam working. By the way, for those of you that have the Honeycomb, did you see that the Airbus throttle levers have pre-order? And of course, they've sold out. I was lucky enough and fortunate enough to get those pre-ordered. Honeycomb said that they're going to, I don't know if they're going to ship on April 19th or that's when they're actually going to, they should, arrive or what they are doing there. So I know there's some speculation on there. But anyway, I got those pre-ordered, so I'll have to check those out with all of you at some point. So I'm going to have to get up to speed on that A320 and make sure that I have the my skill set for that, for the Airbus, right? All right, so now that we have that all set, we can... we can relieve our ground crew here. So we'll do that really quick. So we'll just go down here, we'll do back, go to ground services, we'll disconnect the ground power unit. So that's disconnected and no problems there because of course we're on our APU. So that's all good. Next one, altimeter. Oh yes, we're flying active sky tonight, SimFans. So better check the altimeter. So I'm gonna do that right now. KDFW. And our altimeter, SimFans, right now, conditions are 29.79 for our altimeter. So we're just going to go over here to standard pressure, 29.79, and we're just going to use our mouse wheel and scroll down until we get to that. I'm going to just kind of zip over here to this, to the co-pilot seat and get this one set as well because they are separate. Safety, right? So we've got the backup system. So if one goes bad, we've got the other one that's going. All right, SimFans, we're good. We're good to go there. Altimeter first altitude is set. We're gonna be cruising at 35,000 feet tonight, SimFans. So as you can see, I already got that programmed right up here. And then, of course, when you're flying, remember to put that, for cabin pressure, you need to put that altitude up here. And then also your landing altitude. And if I remember correctly, our landing altitude at Atlanta, where we're flying tonight, is at 1,026 feet. So I tend to round up or down. So we got that set. And from doing the pre-flight and getting the performance stuff set, turn that off for a second. I did get this 148 indicated airspeed, and that's what we should be at while we're rotating and taking off. Okay, good enough. We got all those checked. Elevator trim I did set before. 525 was what the trim was, and we need to close the passenger door, or the cabin door, excuse me. See our passengers back there, all ready to go, all set to go. Get that closed, all right. Locked and secured, good to go. And once we got that done, SimFans, I think we're getting pretty close to being ready to do pushback. We got to set a few things up top. So we got to turn all of our fuel pumps on. So we get that all those on and set. Now you notice these are still saying low pressure. So why is that if we go down here? That's simply because our flight is short enough tonight that is 0 gallons or 0 pounds of fuel rather. And so we don't really need those top center pumps going. Okay, so just turn those back off. I've been used to longer flights, SimFans, and had those on, but we got a shorter flight tonight, which is good given it's a Thursday night, right? Okay, so that's all set. Doors are closed. Fuel pumps are there. Hydraulic, we got to get those set. So we're going to turn on our hydraulic pumps, and the low pressure should turn off on those. We can check that now if we do the ailerons. There we go. We've got them going. All right. We're almost there. Anti-collision lights on. And actually, I'll show you one thing, too, with the Zibo. And you're probably all super familiar with this already. But if you're a Microsoft Flight Simulator fan, you haven't done a lot of X-Plane, or any X-Plane for that matter. And this, by the way, this aircraft is absolutely free. And it's absolutely awesome. But we're going to go back, and we're going to start our flight leg. So here, I'm going to do something really quick. So go back here. Not hearing anything, right? Okay, so now we're going to go back here. And then we're going to start our flight leg. Hopefully you can hear that. Everybody hear that okay? There's some ambient sounds. It's kind of neat because you hear the passengers actually. If I would shut up, you could hear it, right? and these airplanes, these aircraft going by us. I'm using Traffic Global, and the sound's pretty, here he comes. It sounds pretty loud. But hopefully you can hear that. I'm going to turn this up just a little bit. Keep that down, maybe. So if you can hear that sound, and you'll hear the cabin crew make announcements. I do have PAC-X, by the way. I'm not going to use that tonight. You know, I'm kind of torn. When I fly the Zibo, it has such great built-in sounds, and they're all done very, very well, that sometimes I just say, I'm not going to fly PAC-X. I'm just going to listen to the sounds of the cabin crew and the passengers. So, all right, SimFans, I think we're ready to push back. So we're going to go ahead and call our tug. We're just going to go down here, ground services, and better pushback is free as well. And it comes with the Zibo, which is beautiful. So we got the lead on board, okay.
Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
Tow is driving up. Now here, the thing is, hope you can hear that, but they're still like loading their baggage and all that, right? So as soon as we hit the beacon light, I think I can do that with my Alpha Flight Controls. Notice it all gets quiet. Just like in the real thing. Just like when we're flying for real, fans.
Ladies and gentlemen, the boarding doors are closed. Flight attendants prepare doors for departure. Cross check, fair price jab, stand by for all call.
All right, let's see where that tug is. Our pushback truck. Just about ready. Let's do our free camera. You can do that by just hitting C. I think by default, you know, period goes
all
forward.
Doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
And we'll see him pull up to our nose gear and get us up in the air a little bit to push us back. Yeah, we got that aircraft, that other American just coming right up next to us here, so it's getting kind of loud. Is that too loud, SimFans? There. Whew! That's a relief. There's a separate volume control, SimFans, for the Traffic Global. I really should go into that and turn that puppy down, because that is loud. Loud, loud, loud. Oh, WMKK, you gotta go. Well, hey, you know what? Thank you so much for jumping online here. By the way, I did check out your channel today. I do appreciate you joining us tonight, WMKK from Malaysia. Have a good evening and take care. Hope to see you soon. Keep in mind of the Saturday live stream as well, my friend. Take care. All right, so he's ready. He's waiting on us now. We'll just turn the parking brake on, or off, rather.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Well, I'm sad to see you too. I'm sad to see you go too, WMKK. But again, appreciate you even hopping on just for a few minutes. That's great, buddy. We'll catch you next time. So here we go, SimFans. We're getting pushed back here. Now we can start the engines, of course. So right on our checklist here, our next thing we got to do, because we started our pushback, of course we're going to have to turn our packs off, right? Left pack off, right pack off. Notice it gets all quiet in here. Thrust levers, as you can see on the Honeycomb Bravo Throttle Quadrant, they are to idle, so that's good. At this point we need to start our engine, so pretty straightforward. All right, so now we can go right engine to ground, and we'll go kind of act like we're on the right side, listening to this engine come up. Not sure if you can hear it, but I can hear the bass in my headset, which is kind of nice. All right, and then what I tend to do is when this low oil pressure light goes out, kind of like the APU, or the reverse of that, throw that number 2 fuel. We can see that engine light up.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Set parking brake. Get the parking brake set. I don't know why he's bringing luggage out to us now, SimFans, because we're loaded and ready to go. Know what this guy's doing, right? I think he wants to get ingested by our number 2 engine. I don't know. Know what this guy's doing. Sounds great. See you on Sunday, Malaysia time, 9:30 a.m. Sounds good. WMKK, take care. All right, we can do a disconnect hand signals. And yeah, they're just kind of hanging out around us here. All right, so one of the things we can do now is start number 1. First, let's set our number 2 engine to continuous, right? Do that. Now we're going to switch the left engine to ground. And that's going to listen for the rumble.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the right. We'll see you next time and have a great flight.
Thank you. All right, let's go to the front. Let's see where we're at. Yeah, that light's off, so we're going to put our fuel on, and then we'll just, for this one, we'll watch the engine spool up here as it ignites. That start valve open, you're going to hear a snap, and you probably, for those of you that know this plane, I do this for everybody, so if you've never done the Zibo before, I kind of like to talk about it. But start valve, once that closes. All right, so that closed. Now we got to, well, I hear the snap. Now we're going to go up above, and we are going to turn our number 1, our left engine, to continuous. All right, so now we can start pulling power from our engines and turn off our APU. So just making sure, that's why we have checklists, right, fans? Just make sure that everything is checked for and everything is good. Okay, so the outer switches, these blue outer switches, now we go on. Notice the amps go down from DC. All right, and then we need to switch our AC to Gen 1 for generator, and now we can turn our APU off. Once we do that, let's turn off our APU bleed, because we're no longer going to be pulling airflow from the APU, but rather with our engines. And so we got to turn our packs back on, get that airflow going back to all our passengers in the cabin so they don't revolt because they're too warm, right? Now, window heat, you're supposed to do this when it's below 10 degrees Celsius, but half the time I forget to turn it on, so I just turn it on. I know that's not standard operating procedure, SimFans, but we don't care. We're just going to do it. Let's see, we'll go ahead and turn on, well, we'll leave our engine and our wing anti-ice. We'll leave those there for now. But the thing about the Zibo is if you go up and you get so high, below 10 degrees Celsius, you will actually see your windows all fog up and freeze up, and then you got to turn those on and wait a few minutes for them to clear up. Yaw damper is on. We got to set our flaps, and to do that, we're going to use our Bravo quadrant, of course, right? And so we're going to go 1, 2, 3. And now we should be set, if I've done that right, at 5. And we are, so I think we at 5? We're at 5. All right. Excellent. Now we go over here. We can see that those flaps are coming down, and that looks good, SimFans. All right, good to go there. Flaps down, auto brake, RTO. Got to set it to RTO. So if we abort takeoff, we got that ready to go. Pushback is ended. Taxi lights need to be turned on. So we will turn the taxi lights on. The runway turn-off lights will be on. And TCAS set. And we're ready to taxi, SimFans. Autopilot, though, we want to make sure we've got that on. So we're gonna not on, but that's off, disengaged. We get our flight directors, right? Don't want to forget those. Flight directors are on. Auto throttle is on. Indicated airspeed we already got set. Runway heading, by the way, SimFans, runway heading tonight. I pre-flighted this a little while ago. 13 right, so 13 right. So we got to set our heading bug to 130. Perfect. All right. Now here's a nifty tool, SimFans, and I've showed you this before. If you were with us last Thursday, so what is kind of nice, there's this add-on. It's called Airport Visual System, or AVS for short. And if we turn that on, the nice thing about this is I just forgo the airport charts, the airport diagram, I should say, and I can just go right in here and get myself situated and set up for our takeoff. Of course, we're gonna have to go. Boy, that's a long jaunt. Why 13 right? That's what it said. That's what it was based off of. So by the way, I use SimToolkit Pro. Get it? Links below. It's free. It's pretty awesome. If you want something that's not quite robust, go with Project Fly. You could just do standard SimBrief. Actually, I have my flight plan exported from SimBrief, but So we are flying real weather conditions, SimFans, and this is what they're doing. They're doing takeoffs from 13 right. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to have to find our way there. So we can just click taxi, and this is the nice thing about this. We can zoom in, and we just kind of like follow this. We just paint our taxi, right? So we just paint, and then we... Why did it go down there? No. Whatever. We're just going to do that. Okay, this is kind of lame. But we know we're going to have to cross over here, so maybe it's just as well we go down. So let's just follow that to the bottom one. You all get the idea, right? And then we're going to follow that all the way. So we're going to taxi for like, you know, a half hour to 13 right. This is kind of ridiculous. Maybe we'll just take off from... Should we just take off from 18 left, SimFans? Because, I mean, it's not like it's not going to work. Let's just do that. All right, so we're just going to go down here, and then let's say, so see, I'm just trying to show you how you can do this in clear route. So it doesn't work the best always. Here, and then we'll just take off from 18 left. I am not going to bore you guys with taxiing for a half an hour, so we're just going to cheat. We're going to cheat a little bit, and we're going to take off from 18 left. Is that all right with you? Is that all right with you, SimFans? Hopefully that's okay with you. We're cheating this a little bit. Okay, flight directors, everything, heading altitude, we got that set. Now we're ready for the holding. So we're ready, finally, to go ahead and taxi SimFans. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to turn off our parking brake, and we're going to start adding some thrust and get this going. By the way, we are flying with Track IR tonight. Keep an eye on the Bravo throttle cam. And then we'll check our speed brake. That looks good. Look at all those aircraft. So, by the way, this is the Aerosoft DFW airport. You know, I don't recall how much it was. It was like, I think it was like $20-some. I haven't figured this out. If any of you know, there's some liveries, and I wonder if, like, I mean, obviously something's missing, right? You see that aircraft there that's just in gray? I've noticed that after my last update for Traffic Global, and I have yet to figure out what in the world happened there. See, he's all gray. Obviously not, not normal. Not what we should be seeing. Let's see, we want to go up one more. One more. I could have turned left there, but we're going to follow the AVS utility here. I just made a bunch of people throw up in the bag. No big deal. No big deal. That's why they have those barf bags, right? All right. Take a look outside. Oh, I'll tell you, SimFans, if you don't have the Zibo aircraft, what are you waiting for? If you have X-Plane, I know you do, right? This is going to be kind of fun. Look at this little ramp here. See if we can't drag the radar of the nose of the bird up on the ground here. Have to give her some power to get up this hill. I don't know if this is technically really accurate. I mean, I'm sure there's a little bit of an increase here, but it seems pretty aggressive slope to me. And then nose down. And what do we miss about Microsoft Flight Simulator that we don't have in Microsoft Flight Simulator that we do have in X-Plane? Of course, it is the flyby view. Oh boy, we better slow down, SimFans, because we're going to have this little bit of a decline here in slope. And our nose is going to go down. All right, well, not so bad. As you probably can tell, this airport, even though it's gorgeous, it's not the most friendly on frame rates, right? You can see there's some stuttering going on here, SimFans, so just something, you know, we got to live with, I guess. That's the thing about DFW. They got these massive taxiways. Just, I mean, talk about like massive asphalt here. Salby. I'm a ways off the taxi line, I guess. I know all of you will forgive me for not being exactly accurate, right? At least I hope. A little more thrust here, kind of going slow. Alright. We're going to use all of the runway SimFans. Why not? Now technically we should be taking off from 1-3, right? Because that's what the I have the SID set as for runway 1-3, but we'll just go ahead and intercept the course hopefully, and as we get going here. Almost looks like a military aircraft over there. Missing, I realize that it's missing the livery, right? All right, so here we go. We'll pull out the throttle. We'll hold short here, 18 left, and we'll just pretend that we got clearance to take off from this runway, SimFans. Going to turn on the parking brake, and now we can turn off the ABS utility. That utility, by the way, I think is like $12, maybe $15, but you can, if you wait it out, you can find it on sale, SimFans. So don't miss out on that. I think it's worth it if you're flying X-Plane. It's worth it in my opinion. Okay, so we got the parking brake set. Holding point, landing lights. We need to get our landing lights on, of course. Let's see if this will work. I think this works now with, yep, see, I've got the, you can't see this, but I have the Alpha Flight Controls from Honeycomb. We can turn our taxi light off. Actually, I should check and see. That normally doesn't work. Yeah, so for some reason the taxi switch doesn't work with the Alpha. I could probably map that manually. Okay, so we got the taxi lights off. Position lights, we need to get to steady and strobe. I got these different views maps. We're just going to go over here. Click this up twice. Going to hit the wing. Going to hear the captain call it out. Let's go ahead and turn on our TCAS because it does work.
Okay, the cabin is secured.
Cabin is secured. All right, thank you. Got our transponder set. We're ready for takeoff, SimFans. All right. I believe. Let's zoom out just a little bit because we're gonna have to intercept that course, and so I want to make sure we don't miss that. So we're gonna have to bank left kind of hard, I guess, once we take off to intercept that line. Because if we go out farther and see where our course is there, right? Okay, let's go 10 because I usually I'll go 20 on that. Get around. Okay. Are you ready, SimFans? Ready to rock and roll? All right, let's do this. Parking brake off. Track IR is enabled. We are ready for takeoff. And by the way, if you don't have Track IR yet, SimFans, from Natural Point, that's who makes it, naturalpoint.com, do check it out for $150. It isn't cheap, but it also isn't super expensive, and it is worth every penny. All right, let's go. And sometimes it does that, I don't know why, but because I've got everything set. So we're just going to ignore that. I don't know if that's from the last update, but... and then it goes off. Yeah, whatever. Whoosh, taking a hit on the frame rates. So we're going to push forward on the yoke until we get to 80. And then we're going to go ahead and... I think a plane just landed. Hopefully he's not landing on us. We get up to rotation. Of course, that's VR, right? We have such a long runway that we really don't have to go much more than 92% thrust. Rotate. Pull that throttle. Pull the yoke back just slightly until we get those gear off.
Positive rate.
That's been doing that too. Did you notice the engine's kind of cut back? All right, positive rate. We'll put the gear up. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's done that to me the last couple times, SimFans. I don't know if it's a bug or if, because it hadn't been doing, I've done this for years, so I'm not quite sure why it does that. So we're going to go ahead and climb out. We should be climbing out about 169, so let's go ahead and start banking. we go. Let's get our steering to our course line, then we can enable autopilot. Aviation Spotter, welcome, welcome, my friend. Doing well. Thank you for joining the stream tonight. Appreciate you being here with us very much. All right, we're going to go ahead and climb, keep climbing out. Yeah, we're at 175. It's probably close enough in terms of our speed for our climb here as we depart DFW from Aerosoft. As you can see, it has, at least my computer, it taxes it a bit. And maybe some of you lucky ones out there that have, you know, the newer hardware and processor were able to get lucky enough to get that stuff. Ryzen 9 and maybe the 3000 series. You probably aren't having a problem like I do. My build is 4 years old, and I'm looking to build eventually if I can get the parts. Probably have to go pre-built, but even that, I'll talk about that later. That just keeps going up and up and up, though, as many of you probably know. All right, we can probably take, let's see, we want to go to 1 for our flaps, so I'm going to put those flaps up a bit. Trim a little more. Oh yeah, buddy, we'll get a nice flyby, Aviation Spotter. Don't you worry. Let's go ahead and do that right now. We got an aircraft taking off in the background. Gotta love that, right, Aviation Spotter? Gotta love it. Gotta love that flyby, my friend. All right, we're gonna go ahead and put up the rest of the flaps. Take a look out there as we're climbing out. We are using Ortho4XP, of course. You know, it's the next best thing to Microsoft Flight Simulator and Bing satellite data and Navigraph, right? Of course, we took those flaps out, so we got to put a little more trim in. Let's go ahead and get our autopilot on. So we're going to do VNav, LNav, and command. And we'll let that autopilot... Okay, let's go ahead, Aviation Spotter. We'll go an external flyby again. How about those F-mod sounds, fans? You gotta love the F-mod sounds, right? But again, we're using Ortho4XP, so as I've mentioned several times before, if you want to do it, it's free. It's just going to take you time, and it's going to take you storage, so maybe not free. You're going to have to buy storage. You're going to have a lot of it depending on how big you want to go. As a point of reference, I have... essentially the entire United States, except for only a percentage of Alaska, because the state of Alaska is just so large. But I've got the rest of the United States, the entire thing. I've got part of Mexico, and of course Central America. I've got pretty much all of Western Europe, and and essentially United Kingdom. And I've got 2 Western Digital black drives that are 8 terabytes apiece. And I have an internal 8 terabyte drive. So I've got basically 2 full 8 terabyte drives filled, and then maybe a quarter of that. Now I have other games on there too, but point being is, if you want Ortho4XP for X-Plane, it is free, but you're going to have to buy storage. Again, depending on how big you want to go, you might not need to. But it's worth it. All right, so we're at 10,000 feet, SimFans, so we need to turn off our landing lights. We're going to go ahead and do that on our Alpha Flight Controls, so you notice I'm not going to click anything, except I'm going to click this button you can't see, but you can hear. Notice the landing lights go off. Unfortunately, I don't have anything mapped for our runway turn-off lights, so we're going to still have to click on those, our wing light, and our wheel well. So now if we go on the flyby, of course, we're not going to see any landing lights on now, right? So above 10,000 feet, that's when you want to do that. Once you hit below 10,000 feet, and that's the way it is in real life too, you want to turn those lights on or off. I agree. Amazing, right? It is amazing. And I've said this before, SimFans, and I'm going to say it again. You notice right now, because we're just over 10,000 feet, you can still tell that Microsoft Flight Simulator still is better with the satellite and the ground textures and that, because it has the 3D rendering better, more realistic. But once we get, I don't know, probably above 15,000 feet or so, give or take, in my humble opinion, it's almost as good for Ortho4XP and X-Plane as it is in Microsoft Flight Simulator when you're doing high altitude flying, especially if you're at like 35,000 feet like we're going to fly tonight. it's gonna be just fine. By the way, I'm looking a little washed out. Let me see if I can't adjust that. Not that that matters, but when I'm out here, it looks like it's. Let's see if I can't adjust that a little bit, not mess everything up here. I don't know if that's going to help at all or not. It doesn't even look like it's doing anything other than flickering. There we go. All right. Never adjust. See, the thing is, don't dink with crap, right? Once you get going, just let it go. I'm sorry. So here we go, SimFans, on our way to Atlanta. Atlanta by Nimbus. So we're flying payware scenery from DFW to Atlanta. So by the way, SimFans, first of all, I want to thank everybody for joining me once again tonight. And if you haven't already, and I see many of you have, smashing that thumbs up. Thank you so much. It's because of you I do this. I'm having a blast doing it. Like I've talked about before, I've started this channel really in December, late December, for all intents and purposes. Been simming all my life, right? I know many of you probably heard this, heard me talk about this before multiple times, but I do appreciate all of you, and thank you so much for joining tonight and for subscribing. I am 7 away, SimFans. My camera's kind of cropped. 7 away from 500. And I was toying with the idea, once I hit 500 subscribers, of doing a giveaway. There's a little more to doing a giveaway than I thought, but I was thinking about like maybe I'd do some scenery as a thank you to all of you, and of course I'd do it for a live stream, and for those of you that would want to fly with during a live stream. So I will be doing that at some point. I haven't decided what to give away. No, I'm not giving away my Bravo Throttle Quadrant, so don't even ask. I'm not going to do that. But I got to do something for all of you, especially those subs out there and the ones that have been jumping on the streams and following the content. I do appreciate it very much. It's been a blast so far. And for going relatively easy on me, you all have been really nice. I've heard some horror stories of some content providers, and so far you've all been great, and I do appreciate it. Don't get me wrong, give me constructive feedback. That's all good. But yeah. So let's flip over to, we want to see our progress. So on the right FMC, I like to do that with the Zibo. We hit this prog button. So some information here you're probably all well aware of, but now we can see that T/C, that's top of climb. So that means we'll be at 35,000 feet at 1706 Zulu. So if we go back to our clock here, ooh, I forgot to set the timer. Better late than never, right, as they say. So that's here. So we can go here and go, okay, we're going to get to the top of climb at 1706. And we go to look at our clock. We have 11 minutes, and we should be hitting our top of climb. And by the way, I forgot to do this, but once you take off, I like to go outside of this. And so we see this arc, and that's kind of like where we're going in terms of hitting our top of climb. So, because we got it set at 35,000 feet, so that should intersect eventually with that T/C. Of course, we're already up in the air, so we can turn our RTO auto brakes off. Oh, I missed going over it. Once we get past 10,000 feet, you'll hear like, welcome to American Airlines, da-da-da-da-da, and trying to sell you all the crap that we hear every time we fly, right? We didn't really miss out. This is the one thing I will note, though, SimFans. So if we go on the outside view, one thing about Ortho4XP, you'll get some of the seams in that. So you see a seam right here. There's kind of a seam there. So every once in a while you might see that, but I mean, I really can't complain, and there's a ways around that too. Check out Vertical Sim. We flew. We got to set to standard pressure, so we just hit this button here to standard pressure, which is 29 92, and then, sorry, I'm going to do this really quick. Stay on track here. Okay. I do that often. Many of you know. I'll start rambling and talking, and I forget to do stuff. What was I saying? Yeah, so that's the one thing you'll notice when flying Microsoft Flight Simulator. You don't really see a whole lot of, at least I haven't really noticed. How many of you do Microsoft Flight Simulator? Have you seen much in terms of stitching? I really haven't, in terms of the tiles. They've done a pretty good job. But you'll notice every once in a while, and you'll notice, you know, like here, you can kind of see some cloud layers. But overall, it's really good. Oh, I know what I was saying. Vertical sim. So we did a payware. We landed at Norfolk last Saturday. Did a flight there, and so he has really, it's decent scenery. I'm not going to say it's exceptional. It's decent, but it's always been at a good price. But he also offers up free, you know, corrected tiles. So he'll actually put different tiles together, get rid of some of the clouds, get rid of some of the you know, the seams in your Ortho for XP. And the nice thing about what he has, and I still think he has it, but he has like Florida and several states. I can't remember all of them, but he's got several states, and it's a lot easier because then you can just download the entire package. Where if you Google Ortho for XP, there's some manipulation, there's some settings and stuff there. I don't know, to be honest with all of you. Now with Microsoft Flight Simulator coming out with more commercial aircraft, and as they advance, hey, did you hear my the news? Not my news, but PMDG's news. I reported on it. They're going to release all of their aircraft, their entire line of aircraft in Microsoft Flight Simulator, and they're not just going to port them, is what they say. We'll see. Now, I always like to have like skeptical optimism, so we'll see what they do. But yeah, so the whole entire PMDG line is eventually, it's going to take time. They talked about, don't expect it like, you know, even within this year or anything like that. Maybe they'll have a release within this year of one plane, but that's pretty exciting news, especially for us sim fans that are like study level, hardcore sim fans. You know, we're virtual pilots, and for those of you that aren't that hardcore, they're still fun aircraft. I think they have easy modes. Hopefully they'll do that in Microsoft Flight Simulator, where you can, you know, you can do a lot of the stuff like you can with the new CRJ. You can say you're ready for taxi, you want to start up in taxi mode, or you might start up in ready to take off mode, or cold and dark. But yes, looking forward to Saturday night stream. If you fly Microsoft Flight Simulator, I've got that scheduled already. It'll be fun and a blast if you want to join and fly. It'll be a GA, so it's going to be general aviation flight, low and slow. We're going to check out the Caribbean, sim fans. Like, we're talking Princess Juliana, Grand Case, St. Bart's, what's the really, Saba. We're going to do some landing at Saba. Have you ever tried landing at Saba, either in X-Plane or Microsoft Flight Simulator? I think there's a Saba landing, isn't there? And a challenge in one of the missions in MSFS. I can't remember for sure. And what am I missing? There's one other airport. Bring it up here. But we're going to have fun, sim fans. And if you don't want to fly, live stream, come along for the ride. Ride with us. Fly with us. Nothing wrong with that. So yeah, TNCM. Let me go on here. So yeah, so we're going to be flying on Saturday live stream, 8:30 Central Standard Time. So I put the Zulu time in the description as well, but that's going to be, where did I have that? Somewhere. Oh, well, that's easy to remember. It'll be 5 p.m. UTC. And yeah, it's going to be, we're going to have some fun here, sim fans. We're going to be doing this flight. It'll actually the time of day that I set is for 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, which will be 5 UTC, but it'll be 8:30 p.m. on Saturday, 8:30 Central Standard Time for that flight. I'm getting all mixed up, I apologize. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to be flying from Princess Juliana, and I'll be using the payware scenery. If you want to check it out, it's by Airworthy Designs. And I don't remember what it is, like $20 or something like that, maybe 18. You know, I found that scenery, I got the same scenery here in X-Plane, But I've noticed that a lot of times the scenery is a little cheaper, even from the same developers for the same airports. I've found that the scenery is a little cheaper in Microsoft Flight Simulator, that is. So we'll be flying from there, Princess Juliana, or as you know it, TNCM, St. Martin, if you will. And then we'll be going to St. Bart's, TFFJ. Then we'll be going to the challenging landing, as I mentioned, to Saba Island, which is TNCS, then to Grand Case, TFFG, and then back to TNCM. No, I had them all. We're just flying back, and we're going to land and end it at TNCM. So that should be a lot of fun. I'll tell you what. How about landing at St. Bart's? Anyone tried that? I've got a video, by the way, and I do have it posted. My approach, I did stick the landing, but it wasn't the best landing because you got to time it just right. You're just like almost skimming the trees going over that hill to land. I'm trying to remember the runway now, but anyway, it's a challenging landing for sure. So I'm gonna have fun Saturday night. So if you want to fly with us, join us then. If you just want to come and ride along, hey, that's great. That's great as well. But do watch for that, SimFans. How are we doing on our progress? Top of climb. Now 17:08. About 5 minutes to top of climb. We should have those contrails, right? At this point. Oh yeah. Now, how many of you, because with Microsoft, they did an update, as always, right? And so apparently there's supposed to be contrails with the aircraft. And you know, I was flying the CRJ now that it's been released, the 550. I was actually flying the 700 version, and I think I was so focused on like the systems and stuff, I don't know if I ever recalled the contrails being there. So apparently it's supposed to be there for our aircraft that we're actually flying, but AI aircraft it's not there yet for. I don't know if any of you noticed that or not, if it's there, but oh, here we go. So there's that stitching, right? There's that stitching I was talking about with ortho. So you're just gonna have it, you know. I have not seen anything that big on Microsoft Flight Simulator, but to be honest with you, SimFans, I haven't done a lot of long flights at high altitudes. So it is possible that it is there, and I just haven't noticed yet because I've been doing pretty much everything general aviation in it. And tonight, by the way, we will be doing the ILS approach. So here, let me share something with you, SimFans. Take a look at this navigation chart. Is that open? Yeah, I do have it open. Properties, and there we go. And there we go. So I was talking about, you know, I use Sim Toolkit Pro, which at first it's a little intimidating, but don't let that bother you. It's like anything when you look at the first time. It's not like Project Fly where it's just like the GUI's just like there's only so many options and it kind of walks you through a kind of a wizard, if you will. So Sim Toolkit Pro is like everything's there and it's got a ton of stuff. And so don't let it, you know, just try it out and just kind of play around with it. And there's tutorials out there, but you'll figure it out quick, SimFans. You really will. If you haven't used it before, it's a great utility. They've actually made improvements with it. I always thought that the adding aircraft was a little wonky. Like it was kind of hard to get like what aircraft you wanted in there to get the performance specs in it. But once you get the they have a add aircraft wizard that I tried that out just recently and it worked really well. So they're continuously making improvements. Again, it's free. I think you can donate if you want to them, but it is free. And it'll connect if you have you use SimBrief, it'll connect to that. And then if you have any AirAC cycles, like the latest AirAC, so that's for the latest navigation stuff, the approach plates, departure standard approach, all the airport diagrams, and mainly the route stuff. Anyway, it is free. Check it out. And then it'll generate. This is a SimBrief, and I am going to announce this during the weekly top 5 announcements on Sunday. Did any of you see that Navigraph basically purchased SimBrief? And at first when I saw that, I'm like, oh shit. Hopefully they're not going to like require it to be, because SimBrief has been used by all of us for years. And like, hopefully they're not going to start charging, like they do for their AirNav data. No, they said they're going to continue to allow SimBrief to be used for free, so that's good. So anyway, this is from SimBrief. I'm going to adjust this here real quick. Keep my microphone out of the way. So yeah, so you can see that's where the 35,000 feet comes in. And one thing I wanted to kind of look at here is our route. So here's our route, right? So this is what generates out of there. And I do have a tutorial, and I know you all probably know how to program the FMC in the Zibo. I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but some people follow me that or are starting to follow me that are relatively new to flight simming. So kind of want to bring this up for everybody. But this is free, and then you just plug that into the FMC. So there's a ton of really good tutorials. Certainly tutorials are better than what I did recently, but I just did one quick because I have the latest AirNav data and all that stuff. So, but I go through that on how to program the FMC. But this is a free utility, so definitely check it out. It gives you your times and weights. And then if you use like PackX, you can use this in terms of like how many passengers are on your aircraft. And of course your payload, zero fuel weight, fuel, all that good stuff. 1,000 feet away from 35,000. And then of course summary, where you have your CI cost index is what that stands for. Your average wind, plus 79. And this is stuff that you can use SimFans for Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's not, as you know, it's not just for X-Plane. It's for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Those of you that play Prepared, I said play, forgive me, Sim. When you fly in Prepared, you fly in X-Plane, you fly in MSFS, you can use this for all of those. So anyway, just want to show that quick. Get that turned back off here, if I can find where the hell I put it. There it is. Boop. So yeah, we are approaching 35,000. We are very, very close. Do a flyby again. Do this for you, Aviation Spot, if you're still on. Oh yeah. Gotta love it. So quiet. So quiet, can you hear me? Love that view though. Left wing, left engine. Especially when it's intact. It's always nice to check out these views, SimFans. Should we do a cabin tour? Let's do a cabin tour once we're at 35,000. So let's just check our checklist really quick. Make sure as we're at cruise. So at cruise, it's pretty simple. We check the autopilot and FMC continuously. We check the FMC progress, which we've been already doing because we're good. That's why. So, and then center fuel pump turn off when empty. Well, we never had it on in the first place. Okay, but let's take a look at something really quick. So now we have this switch in our FMC, of course, to T/D. No, that does not mean touchdown, SimFans. That means top of descent, right? So top of descent, which means we're going to go from 35,000 feet down to our approach and our descent profile for Atlanta. And we'll go through that in a minute, where we're going to find what do we do, where do we set our altitude. Important thing about setting the altitude to a lower altitude before you hit that TD, that spot. And that is on our map, and we'll look at that as well. But yeah, I think we're doing good. We got ourselves cruise. Let's check our speed. We're supposed to be at 0.76. So we can see that Mach, that is, right? 0.76. So this is kind of going a little fast here, actually. But it is set to cruise, so we'll just assume that gets adjusted here shortly. Oh, I mean, we can also do our little call-outs too, right? It's always kind of fun. We can go down here, go to home, go to PA system. By the way, for those that are interested in PackX, it's kind of neat because you can actually use your microphone. This is always backwards on my webcam. So you can use your microphone, and it'll actually add a PA effect. So you can say, like, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck. We're at our cruising altitude of 35,000 feet. To your right, you'll see da-da-da-da-da-da. We expect our on-time arrival at da-da-da-da. And then when it automatically plays it back, and it gives the PA effect, so you can, like, switch to your passenger view, and you can kind of listen to yourself. It's geeky, but it's fun. we don't have that today because we're not flying Pack X, so we're just going to do this. We leveled off. Here we go. So I like to click that and then go to my seat view.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So we're leveled to our initial cruise altitude, expecting a fairly smooth ride today. We have the seatbelt sign turned off, and while you're seated, we do ask that you keep your seatbelt fast about you at all times in case you encounter unexpected bumpy air. And we do thank you for flying with us on American.
By the way, I think SimFans, they had changed it because there was a point in time with one of the Zibo, like when I started using Zibo, or maybe not, I've been using Zibo for a long time, but somewhere there they have like the cabin crew, and it's kind of nice because they would just auto detect what livery you had. So if you're flying American, it would do the American. If you're flying Ryanair, it would do Ryanair, or not Ryanair. I guess it was probably British Airways or Southwest or what have you. But they would like actually switch the cabin crew to the appropriate aircraft that you have the livery selected. And it seems, I think they got back to that because I didn't see the setting last time I did a live stream. I was going to be like show people that, and I didn't see it unless they moved it. Okay, we're going over speed, so we're going to take our thrust out. I'm not sure why that's happening. Oh, I know what happened. Auto throttle for some reason turned off. Why didn't we have our warning for that? That's weird. You know, and that's my bad, fans, because I saw it was still climbing and I just ignored it. So there's always a reason something's not doing what you expect it to do, and I ignored it, so that was my bad. We got our auto throttle set back. I'm not sure when that... Anybody notice that switch off on us? Did not notice that. Oh, by the way, one other thing for those of you that are waiting for your Honeycomb Bravo Throttle Quadrant, if you have like the CH or SciTech throttle units, they are super noisy. Like when I had, for both of them, I had a CH Throttle Pro and I had the SciTech. I had two of the three axis, so put them together, I had six, of course. And I would like literally see the Zibo throttle just like shimmy and just like vibrate. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But it would always turn off my auto throttle, and there's like a noise setting in the settings over here for the Zibo. So just something to be aware of, because I know that frustrated the hell out of me, because I would always lose my auto throttle, and it'd be like, son of a bitch, this keeps happening. Especially whenever it would want to adjust, like when the throttles would auto go up or down for more thrust or less thrust. It's always when I would notice it happening. So like I'd be okay on like, you know, climb, but then when the plane leveled off, I'd lose it. Maybe that's what happened here, but I've noticed that the Bravo Throttle Quadrant has a higher resolution, and so it is not nearly as noisy as some of those older or other products out there. Another plug for Honeycomb. And by the way, if you're wondering, see, again, I get mixed up. If you want to know what this thing is, that's the Track IR. So we're using Track IR tonight, and that's just so we can use our head as a, whoops. We can use our, well, it's not working. What's going on? Try that again. Why that didn't work. There we go. So we can use our, I think it was because I was in OBS, but we can use our, you can use your head as a joystick, which is kind of cool. Blando Calrissian in the house. Hey, how you doing, buddy? Glad to have you with us. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Okay, because I've got that map for some reason as autopilot disengaged. When did that happen? Well, that's gonna have to. I'm gonna have to change that. Blando, how are you doing, buddy? Well, there we had some good chat going, but we're just people are just hanging out, flying together, enjoying the beautiful Zibo across the U.S. here, flying from DFW to Atlanta, and enjoying a little bit of X-Plane for once or twice. Aviation Spotter called me out. He said, you know, or no, it wasn't. It was Money, I think. Yeah, Money called me out. He said, lately I've been playing more X-Plane than MSFS. And I've been playing about the same, but I think, Money, I've just been catching you on Thursday nights, and I've been doing X-Plane. So, I don't know. let me know, everybody, if I should continue doing X-Plane Thursday night and Microsoft Flight Simulator on Saturday. Good to hear you're doing great and doing well. It's going great. It's better now that I'm flying with all of you. I can tell you that much. I had a pretty rough day at work today, so it wasn't like anything bad happened. It was just, I don't know. It was one of those days where, you know, you just, lots of stuff is going on, and you know, it can become overwhelming at times, but I love what I do, so I'm not going to complain. But thank you, Blando. Appreciate it. Cheers, my friend. Cheers, all of you. Blando, I was just telling everybody here, I'm 7 away. Last time I checked from 500, so I was like looking earlier because I was thinking, well, maybe I'll do a giveaway once I hit 500 as a celebration and give back to everybody that's been viewing and subscribing to my channel. And I'm not sure what that'll be yet, and I preempted it with, no, I'm not going to give my Bravo Throttle Quadrant away. I'm not going to do that at this point anyway, but maybe something, you know, maybe some scenery, or maybe a shirt. That's not super exciting. I think most people would probably want scenery. So I haven't figured that out, but there's a little more to it than I thought. So I was like looking that up on that. There's this whole lawyer talking about like what you have to do and the rules for it, you know. But I'm not going to be giving anything away over $600. So apparently, if you're over $600, you got to fill out a 1099 and do all the tax stuff. But don't worry, I'm not going to give anything away at this point over $600. So yes, Blando, exactly. Definitely a night for drinking. Not necessarily alcohol, so some of you that are younger, not of age, don't worry. Grab yourself a soda. It's all good. Look at that TCAS, SimFans. I mean, talk about traffic all over the place. That's one thing I will say about Traffic Global. You know, we should see aircraft flying by us here and there. So if we flip over to our progress, so 1802, so that'll be the top of descent, and I started talking about that. So yeah, I mean, really 43 minutes. We'll do the top of descent, and then we also see our arrival essentially to Atlanta, 1833. So definitely a shorter flight tonight, SimFans. I figured I'd go easy on all of us. I know a lot of us have to work tomorrow. So my last few streams have been going into the wee hours of the morning. So I definitely wanted to be sensitive to that fact and know that many of us have to work in the morning. So tried to make it a shorter flight tonight. And Blando, I was telling everybody here, I was able to get the, and don't hate me, SimFans, because I know, because I had an email, and I think it's because I pre-ordered the Bravo Throttle Quadrant from Honeycomb Direct. So even though it said sold out on their site, it actually, I saw that, but I'm like, well, I'm still going to try the email they sent me, and I was able to order it. So so essentially the Airbus throttle levers, I got those ordered. So it sounds like, I'm not sure yet. I'm pretty sure it means ship out. There's an article, I think either by Threshold X or FS Elite, that said there was speculation on would they arrive on April 19th or would they be shipped on April 19th. I gotta believe it'd be shipped on April 19th because arriving is going to depend on where you live. I mean, especially for those that live halfway across the globe, right? So I got to believe that they're going to ship on April 19th. But then there's also the fact of like, well, will they start production runs on April 19th? I don't think they would say that. Anybody knows, throw it in chat. But anyway, I got those pre-ordered, so I will be highlighting those as soon as I get myself familiarized better with the Airbus and Microsoft Flight Simulator. I could use them here, right? I could put them in X-Plane. I've got the Thales A319. So we could go with the A319 flight in here. I don't always have to fly the Zibo. I just love the Zibo so much. And the Zibo's free. The Tullus is not. So I know, you know, a lot of people out there watching, and you want a great aircraft, get the Zibo. Hands down, don't let it go. Any questions, SimFans? I've been talking pretty much non-stop. So I want to take a breather and allow everyone there to even stop hearing me talk or address any questions that you might have. See if we can't get like a little... You know, the other thing I love about Microsoft Flight Simulator I can't do tonight is... Oh, okay, sorry about the little artifacting here. I need to crop this a little bit. Maybe I can just move that back just a little bit. There we go. Looks weird. Really? Just like a pixel? More I gotta move this thing? Can you all hear me okay still? I'm so loud. Just ask my wife and my coworkers. Lando, we worked together a while, you know, and a lot of years for that matter. You know how loud I am. You can hear me all the way across the building. We're in cul-de-sacs doing IT stuff, and yeah, I project. Let me just put it that way. Let's see. But anyway, I was going to say you can change the daytime to nighttime, and you don't have to reload textures. If I was to do that right now in X-Plane, it would reload all the textures, and we'd have to wait for it. And I don't have X-Plane on an SSD. I know, bad me. I can't, you know. Well, I could do it, but mechanical drives are still the bomb, especially for Ortho for XP. Captain Matt, can I suggest a flight? Absolutely, Captain Matt, please do. I love the feedback and suggestions. I always take those to heart, Captain Matt, so please do. Yeah, for sure, Blando. I do have a voice that can travel, my friend. I do. All right, SimFans. So, you know, how about a little... let's see, turbulence. That seems like it'd apply, right? How about... There, we'll listen to this. It's a little funky, but that's all right. I'm not hearing anything. Hold on. Here we go.
Me sitting there playing, making decisions. I wasn't making any decisions really. There was just this thing unfolding, and my fingers happened to be part of it.
Atlanta to MMMX. Yeah, we could do that. Are you talking tonight? Or are you talking a future flight, I assume? I assume, Captain Matt, that's what you're talking about, right? Yeah, you're talking later. Mexico City International. I have to admit, I cheated on that and looked it up. I knew it looked familiar. Yeah, Captain Matt, we could do that some night. Thanks for the suggestion. Appreciate it. Blue skies.
Didn't feel like me sitting there playing, making decisions. I wasn't making any decisions really. There was just this thing unfolding, and
fly-by time.
my fingers happened to be part of it.
Oh, isn't that a beautiful view? Gotta love that view. Ignore the seam for the tiles. Other than that, it looks great. Alright, future. You got it, Captain Matt. I'm gonna make a note of that. Right now.
I was trying to straighten it out because it was a bit weird.
And you want to go from Atlanta. I wonder how long a flight is that?
Because it was a bit weird. Bigger and bigger feeling.
Let's check that out. We got time, right? I'm going to show you Sim Toolkit Pro, SimFans. Let me load that up here. If you care. Do you want to see it? I'm here for all of you, so you tell me what you want to see. Alright, I'm going to load up Sim Toolkit Pro, and let me add that to OBS. Is that too loud? Is the music too loud? Aero Mexico. I'll have to get that livery for sure. Lando, is that too loud? Music? I'll turn it down a little bit.
I was trying to straighten out.
Alright, let's see. I need to add this.
It didn't feel like me.
Sim Toolkit, window capture, add new, Sim Toolkit Pro.
There was just this thing unfolding and
Got it.
fingers happened to be part of it.
Add. There it is. Okay.
Didn't feel like
Oh, sorry. We got repeat. Let's grab some more music here. Yeah. Lobo Loco has some good stuff usually. There we go, a little jazzy. Let's listen to some jazz. Let's chill out with some jazz, SimFans. How about that? I'm gonna drop this down a little bit because we gotta. Can everybody see that okay still? I want to be able to. We need to be able to see outside, right? That doesn't do any good. Well, let's expand it so you can see it. Okay. Let's take a look, Captain Matt, at what that flight would be. There's an Aero Mexico livery. Is there an Aero Mexico livery, Captain Matt, for a 737-800 or a 700? So you can see I'm right now in Sim Toolkit Pro. So you can make this. The cool thing about it is it has a live map. It has a connector for both Microsoft Flight Simulator, Prepared, I think FS10. Don't quote me on that, but then MSFS. MSFS. I can't remember. You might need another. Utility to connect it. But in any case, it'll walk you through it what you need to connect to these things. But the cool thing is it has a live map, so you can like zoom in. You can actually see all these. These are actual flights from various networks, or they're just signed in here too. It does VATSIM. It does MSFS. What's the big? That's having brain freeze right now. What's the big ATC that you have to pay for? That's almost real. Anyway. So flight planning, you click on this. This is simple as you want to get it, right? You go create a new flight plan. So Captain Matt said, let's do Atlanta. So we'll go KATL, and then we'll go, Captain Matt says MMX. Boy, try to say that 5 times fast. And then down here, you got it. So this is where you can add your aircraft. So it actually has a new fleet aircraft, and it's a lot better. There's a lot more to select from here. Like they have the CRJ, so those of you that have the CRJ 550 and 700 now from Aerosoft and Microsoft Flight Simulator, it's all in there. Even the Cessna. They do have a 737. Good. That's good to know, Captain. All right, so let's go ahead. Aircraft. I'm just going to do B738 because we have a B738. We'll just say I'll have to add that, Captain Matt. And of course, they'll keep track of your hours and all that awesome stuff. I'm just going to put something in here just to do it. And then I'm just going to, that's all you have to enter. And then you can generate flight plan, and it'll go to SimBrief. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that pop-up. You can't see that pop-up, can you? Okay, right now there's this is another window, so you're not seeing this, but it's right now loading up SimBrief. And then what it's going to do is it's going to pop that up. Notice you hear that little ding. So now it's exported. Let me switch to that flight plan. So I got to go to my flight planner directory where I have it exported. There it is. Can you all? No, you can't see that yet. So let me switch to Adobe Reader, and hopefully you can see. Nope, you can't see that because Sim Toolkit Pro is over it. So let me do that. Is that right? Yep, that's right. Okay. So kind of the same thing. Now we've got this, and again, this is free, SimFans. This is absolutely free. Don't let this one go by you. So here it's telling us 34,000 feet, 18,000, 34,000 feet and 36 for flight steps. But what we want to do is go to routing. And so there's our route. We go to times and weights. Here's all our times and weights. Of course, the block time. So that'd be a good flight, Captain Matt. 3 hours and 35 minutes. We'll have to do that on a Saturday, I think. I'll definitely keep that in mind. So there's where we can find out our block time for that flight. So it should be, now of course that's based on like real weather. So if we have more of a headwind when we actually do fly that. It won't be this Saturday, Captain Matt, because we're doing our fly-in, right? Our multiplayer fly-in for those that are interested. That'll be a Microsoft Flight Simulator for general aviation. But maybe, Captain Matt, maybe we can do that. I'd even maybe go next Thursday. Maybe we could start a little earlier or something. We'll figure that out. Thanks for the suggestion. That'd be a good flight. All right. Well, let's get back to our flight simulator here. So that's Sim Toolkit Pro. So yeah, definitely check it out. Flyby time. We will be doing an ILS approach tonight, friends. Look at that. See, when you're at 35,000 feet, I'm telling you what, X-Plane is every bit as much as Microsoft Flight Simulator from this altitude. Because at this altitude, it really doesn't matter. As long as you have Ortho 4XP, it really doesn't matter. Well, I'll tell you what, SimFans, I think we got the music going, we got a nice stable flight and cruise. I think this is a good, see, Active Sky just loaded weather. That's the other thing I will say about Microsoft Flight Simulator. It is more, I don't know, gradual. Some aircraft just flew by, though. Look at that contrail we're flying over. He's right there. See him? Right there. Flying over him. Again, this is Traffic Global. Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and leave the tunes going. Might start up a new set here, because we're almost done with this. No, we got plenty of time here. So we'll leave the tunes going. I will be right back with all of you. Don't leave. We're going to be doing, and we're not having much, a very long flight tonight. We'll be doing the ILS approach into Atlanta, so stick around, check that out. And as always, at the end of it, I will be doing a fly around the payware scenery of Atlanta for Nimbus, and I always do that after we conclude the flight. So I will be doing that, so stick around. SimFans, thank you for being here. I will be right back with you momentarily. Give me about 5 minutes, maybe not even that much. Be right back with you. Thanks. Stick around. Looks like I made it. 5 minutes. Promised. I didn't promise. Thank you for sticking around. I think everybody's still here. Awesome. Awesome blossom. Thank you, SimFans. (18:01) Zulu. 21 minutes, we'll be beginning our descent. So let's talk about that, shall we? I'll turn this music down. We'll have a little ambient sound and the music in the background, you know. But it doesn't need to be that loud. Alright, so just drop that down. Okay, so the important thing with flying in and doing your descent profile, and I'm going to switch over to our chart here, using another free utility, by the way, called AirNav. So airnav.com/airports. Another free utility, and I highly recommend it. So first things first. So now we know we're going to fly into Atlanta, and by the way, let me share this again here. OBS, where'd you go? I have too many tabs open, SimFans. Sorry about this. All right, here we go. Got it. Okay, so when we look at our DFW and routing to Atlanta, so we've got this, right? So what we're looking for is this right here, SimFans. Atlanta 27 right. So we're doing the ILS approach 27 right. And again, I got this from SimToolkit Pro and SimBrief. Exported from there. Okay, so now we're going to hide that. So we're going to land a 27 right ILS approach. So now we're going to go back to AirNav. We're going to type in KATL, because that's not KATL. What am I doing? KATL. There we go. And so there again, there's the elevation. So remember programming that into our cabin pressure for landing altitude. That's where I got that. If we scroll down, we're going to look for 27 right. And of course, Atlanta's a big airport, right? So there's a lot of information. You're not going to always see this as you're scrolling through here. But we're looking for the ILS for 27 right. So here we go. ILS 27 right. There we go. So I just kind of drag that across, and then I hit this. And then I'll load our diagram for that approach. So I'll just zoom in there. So a few key things, and hopefully I'm not boring all of you, but a few key things here is the degrees. So this is our course. So we'll have to set our course for 275. Makes sense, right? 27 right. 27 right is on a cardinal heading 275. So you want that information. You also want this localizer information, but you can get this within the FMC, as many of you know, within the Zibo. So don't worry about that too much, as well as the course for it. So you really don't have to worry too much about it, but I like to just point this out. So we got 275 on our approach course. We've got 111.3 that we'll need to program into our nav radio, so we can pick up the ILS. And the other big, huge, important piece of information is, see this little lightning bolt 2700 right there? So that is what we want to set our altitude. So very important, SimFans. So you want to set that as that's your intercept for your glide slope. So as you're approaching down to the airport, that's ILS, by the way, stands for Instrument Landing System. So you're going to intercept that glide slope, and then the controls are going to take over, and the autopilot's going to take over and just land, come close to landing, usually disengage. We're doing a route change here, SimFans. Thank you, FMC. But yeah, that's going to take us down, and usually about 1,000 feet, 500 to 1,000 feet above ground level, depending on what the weather's like. I'll disengage the autopilot, and then I will hand fly it down and land it. So, yeah. So that's what that is. So 3 important things. Find your, so once you have your runway that you're going to land, again, take note of the ILS frequency, the approach course, and 2700 right here. Don't worry about all this other crap. Okay? Don't let it overwhelm you. Those are the 3 biggest pieces of information that you need to successfully land your aircraft on ILS approach. I'm telling you. I am a real pilot. I know I've mentioned that before. I do not fly commercially. I worked on my commercial rating. I just do it recreation, PPL. But yeah, I've had to interpret that and study all those things. But I'm just going to tell you, for flight simming, don't get overwhelmed by those charts. Just pick out those 3 pieces of information. You'll be just fine. SimFans, just fine. So we'll close that so we can see our simulator again. Again, too many things open. I need to close Chrome. There we go. Flyby time. So, anybody remember what that altitude was? Quiz time! In chat. What's the altitude that I need to set in my altitude setting in the cockpit here? Anybody tell me? Once I get to it. What do I need to set that 35,000 to? Was anybody paying attention? It's 35,000. I'm looking at chat. This is a together thing, SimFans. This gives me time to take a little drinky break. Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? Bueller? Anyone? Group's kind of quiet tonight. That's okay. Somebody's got to remember that, right? Remember what the little lightning bolt in that approach for runway 27 right, what did it say? What was the altitude that it had? It also has a line underneath it. Okay, aviation, fair enough. Just got back. Well, thanks for sticking around. Aviation, yeah, so I'll bring that up again. But we're looking for the intercept for the ILS, so we know what to set this. And by the way, I didn't mention this, but very important that you set that at least an altitude that's less than you're flying at a cruise. Otherwise, you'll fly right by that top of descent, that T/D on your FMC. You'll fly right by it, and you won't start descending. Very, very important. All right, we're going to bring that back up so we can review again really quick, right? I know you didn't come here to get a lesson, but I think it's kind of fun to do this too. We got time where we're flying around and cruising. So if we go back to the Adobe Reader with our, I'm sorry, Chrome. Come on, Darren. Chrome. Right there, 2,700 fans. 2,700 SimFans. That's what we want to set. And don't worry about like, oh shit, you know, I'm flying into mountains. You know, I'm doing an approach. Oops. I'm doing an approach. You know, I might be in, you know, mountainous area, maybe approaching in Denver International from the west, or, you know, maybe I'm on the East Coast and there's mountains around. I don't want to put it 2,700 feet because my aircraft will just start descending. Don't worry about that, because I'll show you why you don't need to worry about that in just a moment. But first, we're going to hide that. And so we're going to set that to 2,700, right? So that's what we got. And notice we're not descending. It's not like this altitude for the autopilot is like stuck in here, because we're manipulating this, and we got it set to 2,700. Again, that's going to be our glide slope intercept. That's going to become really apparent when we start our approach, and it'll make sense for those of you that haven't seen this. Many of you have. Bear with all of us, because again, we're all here together as community, so I want to be able to share these things with everybody, because some of us may be new. All right, so we got that set at 2,700, so that's good. So the reason we don't have to worry about if we're coming into approach in a mountainous area is because of this, right? Within our, so we've got our legs option here. So if I go to program, it's going to show that same thing. So if I go over here to legs, so we're flying to Orc, and as we can see, we're 10 nautical miles away from that. And then our next one is 60 nautical miles away. But notice right over here it says flight level. So now it starts to descend, it decreases. FL 323, so that means we should be at 32,300 feet when we cross Wraith. Nazgul, aren't these great? Mordor, Wraith, Nazgul, Smog. Who's picking up the references here for our Atlanta approach? See, they can get creative. This is real stuff too, SimFans. So if we were flying an actual 737 doing this approach into Atlanta, we would be seeing those Lord of the Rings references, right? So if we go next, Gandalf, and so on and so forth. But notice it says 11,000 A, so that's 11,000. What it means there is when our aircraft crosses that fixed point or that nav point, we need to be at least 11,000 feet or above. That's 11,000 feet means sea level. So yeah. Anyway, so that's why we don't have to worry about it. We have it at 2,700, but our flight management computer is going to keep us safe because all of these waypoints say this is safe altitude, this is safe altitude, this is safe altitude. So we don't have to worry about running into terrain. All right, as long as our FMC is working correctly. Oh, and as long as we have once we get below 18,000 feet, I'm going to just do one more quiz question and then I'll stop. Okay, I'll quit. Just that pilot in me and just wants me to ask these questions. So what's the important thing, SimFans? What we need to remember to have that work correctly when we pass 18,000 transition altitude. What do we need to make sure we set? Anybody want to take a crack at that question? I'm looking at the highly technical. Oh, it's just something just went weird with my background there. Because my camera did something funky. See if I get that fixed. That's kind of weird. I did that and then wait. Damn it! What happened? Who would have thunk? I all of a sudden you can see my green screen. Awesome. Never had that happen before. Let me see if I can fix that. That'll learn me for doing that kind of stuff. There we go. That was weird. Must be like an auto lighting from my webcam. Guess you couldn't really see my green screen, could you? That light was annoying. Okay, note to self. Stop showing your shitty paper checklist. You'll screw up your webcam. Did anybody put in chat? I'm looking for what is the key thing to do, SimFans? And it's okay if you don't know. That's why we're all here, right? What's the key thing to do once we descend past our transition altitude? And in the U.S., it's 18,000 feet, mean sea level. What is the important thing to do? And you know what? We don't have Aces down in here, or Frank, or there's another one, the real pilots out there. They would answer that pretty quickly. So this is going to be a good exercise. All right. Well, that's okay. If you don't know, I'm going to tell you. You want to set your altimeter, right? So your altimeter is for pressure altitude, and everything, even when general aviation, you want to make sure that your pressure altitude is set correctly, and that changes as you. I mean, even within like 10, 15 miles, it can change, right? So you want to, typically when you're flying, you want to make sure if you're below 18,000 feet, you're constantly checking with flight services, or you're checking with different AWAS or ATIS, which are automated weather systems. You've heard them. And then that's just set right here, right? So you can change that, and you can, if I scroll in, oops, let me switch here. That's where we set our. In the U.S., we usually do inches in mercury, so that's at 29.92. That's standard pressure. But as we can see, clouds and stuff, once we drop below 18,000 feet, that's going to change. All right, we'll get off that. I'll stop quizzing all of you. I know you came here not for a flight lesson. You came here just to chill out and do some simming, so that's all good. I think it's time for a flyby. Yes. You know what? I'm probably, so the chat and everything, like when I'm talking, Rojo, it's about 15, 20 seconds. So you probably answered that as I'm giving the answer. So, yes, very good. Barometric pressure, exactly. You want to set that. Yep, good job. And for that, for Roy's correct answer, we will do another flyby. As in celebration. I think it's time to do a cabin tour, don't you? How about a cabin tour, SimFans? All right, let's get this going. So we're gonna walk to our cabin door. We're gonna open it up here. We can go a little faster if we want. Grab ourselves a coffee. Pretty good texturing and that for something that's free, right? Steal a soda. You know, we won't do Flight with Denzel Washington and grab orange juice and pour vodka in our orange juice, right? Because we're flying. We're gonna do the right thing. Even though I am having a little whiskey and Coke tonight. And so we got our passengers. They look comfy. Yes. I always thought this gal, she must be just having a bad day. I mean, maybe she doesn't like the way I fly. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. She always looks pissed off. Like, I just want to get off this plane. All right, we're looking off to the side there. Beautiful, beautiful. And look at the overhead panels. I mean, this is free. Free, SimFans. I mean, come on. We'll get back to who that guy is. But yeah, so we'll keep going. I'm trying to remember if they have. I think they have duplicate. You know, you call these sprites or whatever with these people. But it looks like mostly, except for that one gal back there, they're all enjoying our flight tonight, SimFans. Nope, there she is again. It must be her twin sister. And she's just as pissed off about this flight. I don't know. What am I doing wrong? Maybe they just don't like American. They just don't like American Airlines, you know? Maybe Americans just like had too many like delayed flights. Maybe they got it. Maybe it's, you know, give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they're on a connected flight and it was delayed or something. I don't know. Of course, we can go to the can if we need to. Yeah, I mean, it's you know, for free. I'll tell you what, SimFans, I've seen much worse payware aircraft in terms of textures than this. What I think is so great about Zibo is they continuously update it too. They continuously update it and make it better. So, okay, who's this guy? Anybody want to guess who this guy is? I'm gonna pick on him for just a moment. I love him, by the way. He actually graduated from the same college that I graduated from and that I work for. I know I was going to stop with the quizzes, so I'm just going to say that's Austin Meyer. He is the founder of X-Plane, if you don't know. Probably most of you or all of you know this. But if you're not familiar with X-Plane, that's the guy. I do deep down, I love the guy because he, you know, laminar research with X-Plane, they carried us through when Microsoft got out of the game, and thank God for Lockheed Martin picking up Prepared, right? So we still had that at least, but X-Plane really, they stepped up their game, I'm going to tell you right now, because I always had X-Plane, but I always thought, yeah, it's kind of fun to dink around in. Austin, Aviation Spotter, you absolutely got that right. All right, so you know what we have to do. Flyby view, celebration, Aviation Spotter, got it right, so we're going to celebrate with the flyby. We'll even do 2 there. Nice job. Nice job, Aviation. Exactly right, my friend. But, yeah, so, anyway, that's Austin. And if you've seen some of his interviews, he might have a little bit of an arrogance to him, but you know what? He deserves it. I give him a bye because he gave us this beautiful simulator, and he makes it available to all the developers. I really wish that sometimes he would give more credit to the... I mean, he gives credit to third-party developers, don't get me wrong. Now, notice we just started our descent. Now, look at this pink guide here. And so it's going down. Now notice we are descending. This is our vertical speed indicator. So we're about at 1,800, 1952,000 feet descending. Now we'll see those contrails coming down like we're on a roller coaster. And I can turn the music down for now. So no, so yeah, we've begun our descent into Atlanta. So we better tell our passengers, right, that we're on our descent. So we'll go over here to PA and descent, and then we're gonna flip over here. We'll go to this side.
Gentlemen, as you can see, we are descending Seatbelt sign is on. If you happen to be up and about, please return your seat. Keep your seatbelt fastened for the remainder of the flight. On behalf of the flight crew, we appreciate you being with us today. Wish you a very safe and pleasant journey to your final destination. Hope to see you back here with us soon. Thank you.
All right. You know, I forgot to turn off the seatbelts before, but if you ever want to do that, you just go right up here and do off, and then you turn it back on.
The seatbelt sign is on. Please be seated and fasten your seatbelt.
All right, so SimFans, we got to. I'm going to check right now. What is our barometric pressure in Atlanta, so that we have that already programmed in to our altimeter here. It is, because again, we're flying real. Ooh, we got some crosswinds, fans. This should be interesting. We've got 16 knots gusting to 22, so we'll see how we do landing. So barometric pressure 3031. So we're going to go ahead and set that. 3031. So I kind of like get in here so I can see both. What I like, we're still on standard, of course. See how much that changed? So 3031 there. And then we got, of course, got to set it for our first officer. 3031. Just using my mouse wheel. 3031. So then once we drop, and we're a ways from that, right? We're still quite a ways up. So at 18,000 is our transition again. So we'll make sure we remind me if I forget to hit that STV button. So right now, weather in Atlanta, it looks like it's winds are coming out of 330, 16 knots, gusting to 22. That is going to be interesting, SimFans. You know why? Let me double check. What runway are we landing on? 24, right? Yeah, 27, right? Okay. That's a 60-degree crosswind. That's a pretty decent crosswind, especially for it gusting like that. So this should be interesting. We'll see how I do landing, SimFans. This ought to be interesting, especially if it holds true and is gusting. We'll see how well that pans out with active sky here. Again, we're running active sky tonight, SimFans. And what else we got here? We've got 10 statute miles of visibility, so our visibility is good. It right now is saying clear skies. So apparently, let's see if that holds true. Let's take a look ahead of us. I mean, we're still a ways away. So it does look like the clouds are breaking up. So that might, the active sky is going to do it right. It does seem like the cloud layers, kind of breaking up here. So it does look like clear skies with gusting winds at 60 degrees. So that's a crosswind, 60 degrees. So this should be interesting. We'll see how well we do. Always watch your descent profile and make sure, you might sometimes get the alerts that you need to, like I was just saying, drag required. So now, check out over on the right here, the Bravo Throttle Quadrant, right? So we've got our speed brake. So when you have that drag required indicator there in your FMC, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go to the right wing and just pull this down, and you'll see, you pull it all the way back, it goes all the way up. And by the way, you see that shaking of that window? That doesn't do it by default. It does that because I have an add-on called XP Realistic. So that's where that's coming from. And you can, it also has sounds and things like when you do it, you have your spoilers on like we do here, or you have your flaps engaged. It adds a lot of realism to your flight. So, but what we're looking for is, see, we got a lot of speed to bleed off. Why is our right engine at 78? What the? You notice our left engine was at like 35% and our right engine was at 78. So, I don't know why, but our auto throttle almost seems like it's not actually engaged right now, even though it shows it up here. That's kind of weird. Again, that's why you always want to monitor your systems, right? Make sure they're doing what you think they're doing. Because for some reason, our auto throttle... Did our command go off? No, we're still good there. Huh. Because it's set right here. It says 254. And of course, we want... Oh, that's the other thing. You want to be below 250 knots before you drop down below 10,000 feet. Another tip. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. I don't know why. Yeah, why is it like we have our manual control of our throttles right now? Our auto throttle should be engaged. What am I missing, SimFans? I'm missing something. But here we're going to be flying in our approach here, so I'm going to drop this down a little closer. You can see right here, we've got a green indicator. It's probably another top of descent. Okay, so we can take that. We can take the spoilers out, so we'll put that up. And let me try flipping this off and on. I'm not understanding why that's not working right now. Is it? Huh. Yeah, we might, I don't know, maybe it's going now. Well, notice it didn't switch from cruise. It should be... Yeah, the POH, right? Ace is down. Welcome, Ace is down, by the way. Good to have you, my friend. Blando, as you can see, up above in chat. I don't know if he's still around or not, but he was here in the channel. Earlier, at least. He might still be around working on stuff. Yeah, the POH. I don't know. That's honestly, that has not happened to me before. Where, you know, when I have auto throttle engaged, that it isn't actually engaged. It's kind of weird. Maybe it's a system failure. Welcome, Ace is down. Good to have you here, buddy. Good to have you, my friend. And Aviation Spotter, that is true, right? Make sure to be careful with all the Delta rivals. Yeah, we're landing in Atlanta, so you're absolutely right. There's a lot of Delta. It's a Delta domicile, right? So we are going to have a lot of Delta rivals. You are correct. Oh, by the way, I need to flip the standard pressure over to our altimeter setting of 3031. So we will do that. All right. Yeah, it was good to have... Yeah, it's good to have Blando on earlier. Glad you caught the end of this flight, Aces. Good to see you. Doing a bit of a shorter flight tonight. Trying to be observant of all of us that have to work tomorrow and not make it like a 1:30 in the morning thing, right? And I'm guessing we're being told that we need to add more drag. And, of course, yes, we are. So we're going to put the... speed brake down. Notice the cockpit shaking a bit. Until we get that airspeed bled off. Shouldn't take us long though with our descent vertical speeds at 1600, so we should be good. Oh baby. By the way, SimFans, if you haven't already, please do a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Do appreciate all of you, and it's been a fun flight tonight, even though it's been a shorter flight than I usually do. I don't know. I need to hear from you all to see if we want to continue doing X-Plane on Thursday nights, or if we want to just mix it up and still do MSFS. I realize that some of us have families, and maybe Saturday nights are not the best time for live streams, so let me know what you'd like to see. I am taking requests. Ace is down. Captain Matt was on earlier and suggested a flight from Atlanta to Mexico City, And so we pulled that up together and looked at that, and looks like it's about a 3 hour and 35 minute or so flight, if I remember right. Go ahead and put that up. Oh, their auto throttle kicked off, so it looks like it's working again. I just had to reset it, looks like. But notice this. Look at these, they're way off. Okay, there we go. Now we can try it again. I bet it'll work. Auto throttle. There we go. So we might have to do that, Aces, and everyone watching. Maybe it won't be this Saturday. Again, a reminder to all of you. Hopefully it'll go well. It's my first multiplayer fly-in session, and so I've got that scheduled. Do check that out. There's details for connecting. I still got to put in the server, by the way. I think it can get in on any server. I might be incorrect on that, but I still need to get the server put in there. But I've got all the other details. We'll be doing general aviation. The route that we talked about will be taking off from TNCM, St. Martin, flying to TFFJ and Saba and Grand Case and back to TNCM. Should be a fun flight. Be a challenging one, especially the Saba and the St. Bart's landing. Yeah, that is a long one. We're above 250. Ooh, we're way fast. Didn't notice my auto throttle cut out there. No worries. Get that fixed. Still got tons of fuel. I sometimes wonder, like when programming, and doing the sim brief and stuff that we went through earlier, SimFans, if that doesn't kind of give too much a suggestion of fuel. Might have to change some of the performance values in that. All right, so it's now notice it's gonna the nose is gonna come up a bit. All right. It does have to be the same server. Okay, Aces. I thought that was just a performance thing, but if it has to be the same server, I'll definitely make sure that I put that in the details for that flight. There aren't too many servers, so I think there's for US, if I remember, there's an East and a West. So I will definitely put that in there. Thanks for confirming that, Aces. All right, now we got kind of back to square one here, SimFans. We got our speed back down. And I do, by the way, the other key piece of information is I put my gamer tag for Microsoft in there as well, so that'll be another key piece if you want to try to find me or you want to join automatically where I'm at. It's original Mr. Mean, by the way, no dots. Original MRMEAN. All right, we can take the spoiler out. Got that out. And let's check our FMC here. So we got Jungle coming up, 1814. And it looks like, yeah. Quibbit. Switching to Quibbit at 8,000. So we want to fly over that at about 8,000. The one thing you notice, this is like a hairpin turn. I don't quite know why it wants to do that, but that might make it interesting too with everything else, with the the crosswind component and the gusting winds. This might be an interesting landing, SimFans. We'll see how well I do. Sorry, how well we do, right? Because you're all in it with me. You're sitting in the co-pilot seat, so first officer seat. God, that looks beautiful, doesn't it? Still looks good. X-Plane still looks good, in my opinion. Gotta love it. I just don't know. I mean, we might want to extend this out. We might want to do like a heading, because I mean that hairpin turn, it's gonna be like our aircraft's gonna be like all banking and shit, and then it's gonna go left, it's gonna go over the freaking ILS approach, and then we're gonna bank way right, and then it's gonna go way right, and then we're gonna go bank left, and probably not something we want for a stable approach. We'll see as we get closer here, SimFans. We might want to shallow that up a bit in terms of that angle. So we'll just kind of keep an eye on the FMC here, but that's going to be a really sharp turn. I noticed that, by the way, when doing pre-flight on this, so I just figured, you know what, we can change that if we need to here in a moment. Figure we could change it at the end if we need to. We will see. This will be an interesting approach. Let me refresh. I'm going to go to a different screen here. You're not going to see this, but I'm going to refresh. See what the weather's at. So again, we're at 330, 16 knots, gusting to 22, 10 statute miles of visibility, clear. So 3031 still. Let me check active sky too, because I did that on AirNav. So let me see if AirNav's accurate here. Conditions. I better change that to the KATL. No, it's not. Huh. Let me do a refresh. Yeah, it's funny because active sky right now is telling me that it's 3000 pressure, but if I go to AirNav data, let me check the time. 52 Zulu. And where's it? There we go. Yeah, see, it's not as updated. Yeah, that's why it's off. The time's different. All right, well, it'll make it interesting. Look at those shadows. By the way, in case you're wondering, what am I using for? If you ever wonder, like, boy, that looks really vibrant, SimFanatic. You know, it looks. Why does that look better than my X-Plane? If you're wondering that, why does it look more realistic with colors? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because I'm using something that is called. Oh shit! I just lost it. I just had it. It's. I'll get it to you here in a minute. It is called X-Vision. So, and there actually I saw there's a new utility too for the shaders, and that's what it is. It's an update for the shaders. And let's just face it, I'm just going to go out on a limb and just say that X-Plane default shaders suck. They do. They absolutely suck. They're not good. They're kind of, I don't know. They're just blah. They're not vibrant. They're not realistic looking. It almost looks like every time you go flying, even if it's a bright sunny day at noon in the middle of Phoenix, it looks like you always have this haze effect and just no vibrant blue skies and that. So I recommend X-Vision. As a matter of fact, I just was like, I'm not doing X-Plane 11.5. I held off to upgrade to 11.5 until X-Vision actually came out with a fix. Because in my humble opinion, I think X-Plane shaders are pretty shitty. So anyway, for what it's worth. Frank Rose is in the house. Hello, Frank. How are you, SimFan? Welcome back to the stream, Frank. Are you working tonight on the ramp? Seems like you're always working, my friend. It's like you're always working, but it's like you take that 15-minute break, right? And you check the stream, and we just love to see you. As Ace has just said hello as well. Frank, great to have you here, buddy. Thanks for joining, even if it is, as usual, a few minutes while you're working on a 777 or a 787 Dreamliner or whatever the heck else you've got there in Toronto, working the ramp for Air Canada. Frank, we just love having you here. Thank you, and as well as everyone here. Okay, so we got our approach here. Let's make sure everything is set as we're coming in. That is a sharp. Where's 27 right? We probably have enough time, but I think I'm gonna shallow this out and show you all how to do that. Because look at that. Look at that hairpin. That's not even a hairpin turn. I mean, that's an acute angle, a major one at that. So final approach, you gotta worry about our flaps, our gear, our autopilot, auto throttle. Oh, yes. Definitely want to make sure we get our auto brake set, right? So it's pretty long runway at Atlanta, so we'll do 3 on that. We didn't miss anything, did we? Yes, we did. ILS frequency and all that. Good God, how would I forget that? Okay, so I was going to show all of you this. So we go to our FMC, go to this initial reference. So we got 111.30, and then remember we talked about the approach plate for our runway 27 right. So we got 275 and a 111.3. I think we still have time to put this in. I've been slacking. 111.3. So we just go up here. 111.3. Hit that. I'll switch it over to the active. And we got to go 111.3 here, and then 111.3 active. So now we got 111.3. Make sure it says nav. Nav. This is our secondary. This is our primary. Okay. So now we're going to go to our FMC, and we want 275 degrees on our course, and so we're going to set this to 275, and then this to 275, right there. And once we get turned around, actually I could probably do it now, but what I like to do is set this at approach, and 10's probably good. But I like that right FMC to show my approach, and then I leave this so I can see the map. And what we're going to do over here, and I could use the Bravo Throttle Quadrant, but it's not as fast, and I want to get this fast. So what we're going to do is we're going to do like just parallel to this. So I'm going to switch to heading now. So now we're going to bank to the right to follow that heading. And we're going to do a flyby, because it's a great opportunity for a flyby, right? Because I'm sorry, SimFans, that is just going to be too much of a crank and turn, right? 211. So we're still bleeding off airspeed. Our auto throttle seems to be working now. It must have just been my levers or something were off enough that it was causing something to go haywire. Mercer, and if we go in here, that's Mercer. So we're just going to go a little past Mercer, and then we're going to change our heading. And then once we are about to intercept the ILS, We'll switch it back to approach, or at least nav, and then we'll make our approach. Ha! Yes! Ace is down. We can start the stream now. Frank is here. It is great to have Frank. Frank Rose, you say, watch once again at work. I need this. We just loaded a pig of a Flight 737 MAX. Nice. Back at it, right, Frank? The 737 MAX. Huh. Well, it's good to have you. Actually, Frank, you came at the right time because we're all about to land here, buddy. So, actually, let's check. So notice also on Mercer, when we cross, we should be at 4,000 feet. So as you can see, we're still descending slightly, and we'll be at 4,000. So our aircraft is going to level off. Probably could start thinking about putting in a notch of flaps. It's at 203. Let's go ahead and throw in a notch of flaps so we can see those come down just gradually. Let me get this bird slowed up a little bit. I'm still checking this over here, SimFans, our percentage on our engines, our thrust, because that was crazy. When we lost our auto throttle, it was like one was way low and one was way high, so that was definitely an anomaly that meant something. Like something's messed up, right? And you can see it's throttling up here, so it's all good. Time for a flyby. Always time for a flyby. Atlanta, here we come. Coming to you, Atlanta. So we're just going to continue extending our, if you will, downwind, right? Downwind. Because we should be flying into the upwind when we're on approach. So we can get our aircraft as slow as we can possibly get it to land and touch down. Right, SimFans? Makes sense, right? Yep. You're with me. And by the way, like last time, if you notice over at the Bravo camera, there's these reversers lever switches up here, and you can pull these back. Those are just buttons. So unfortunately, I got asked that question before. Like, are these on an axis? And unfortunately, they're not. But I'm still going to take it now. However, you can push these down, which extends these axes, and so that is on an axis. So if you want to have your thrust reversers at different percentages, you can do that. But if you use on the Honeycomb Bravo Throttle Quadrant, if you use these reverse switches, they're just that. They're switches. They aren't gonna. There's no axis control there. It's just like on or off. And so you want to set those as full thrust reverse if you use those. I'll try these tonight. I'll do the reversers up here when we land. Okay, I think we can go ahead and make our turn. Let's go ahead and switch to the Bravo Throttle Quadrant so you can see that. So I'm just going to switch it to heading mode. And I'm going to turn this. See, it doesn't turn very fast, but I'm running this dial. You can see it's working. I'm doing a lot to get it to go. It's okay. I think these work good for like fine tuning, but if you want like severe tuning, you want to go up to the virtual cockpit still and use that, I think. Coming around, coming around. There's Mercer. I think it's a good idea, SimFans, that we did this. Is so keep that in mind when you see that. Just no worries. Just go parallel to your approach. Act like you're flying your general aviation aircraft, and we're going to go about 45 here to intercept that so we can straighten out. All right, now once we got that, let's go ahead and hit our approach. So we're going to go up here. We're going to hit approach. Notice now we've got the ILS. Our ILS is showing the right one, 275 IAFA. It's going to bring that in. See, we're just a little bit overflew our line, our ILS line. That's okay. Now, if you remember, I'm going to do something here quick, SimFans. If you remember, if I go back to... Oh, shoot, I lost it. Let me do this quick. See, that's the beauty of autopilot. Let me know if my aircraft starts going crazy. Or our aircraft, rather. So, again, 2700 is our intercept. So I'm going to show you, again, just in reference. And I know some of you, welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining. I see there's several new watchers here to the channel. Appreciate you joining us. But if we go to Adobe Reader and, I'm sorry, Chrome. I always mix those up. Chrome. And then we see our plate. I don't know. Can you see that, SimFans? It's here. Hold on. Ugh, that looks terrible. Here, let's do that and that. Okay, now we can see it. Now we can see that, right? Okay. So right here is our intercept. So 2700, and that is at Oster basically our point of interception on that. Okay, so 2700 is when we're going to intercept the glide slope, as they call it, and that is going to tell our. And what I usually do is I usually start like throwing in more flaps. I usually look at throwing the gear down once we hit that that glide slope intercept there. And you can do it a little bit before too. So Oster, and that's how I'm going to pronounce it, Oster. Foster. So right here, SimFans, that's where we're gonna intercept that. Now you know, when you see this right here, it says single channel. We know that we have our ILS, and we are on approach, and we are doing well, SimFans. Once we hit that, we know we're doing well. I gotta remap that button, by the way. Getting closer. Getting closer. Oh, the other thing we can take a look at is, like, notice this VREF, 15 degrees flaps. We want to be at 161, at 30, 148, at 40, 141. For safety, I like to add 5 knots approximately. So when we go full flaps, I like to be approaching at about 146, 145. Just gives us a little extra airspeed, just in case. And the high, by the way, a tip is the higher the gust, probably the faster you want to go, so you don't have the gust catching you off guard. Because again, we do have gusts tonight, SimFans, so we don't want to get caught off guard. All right, we're descending. Because again, we want to intercept at 2,700 feet. Remember, the 2,700 was a little lightning bolt with a line underneath. That's our intercept for ILS. Looks like our approach is going well so far, SimFans. Nice and smooth. Just like if we were with American Airlines ourselves, right? Flying in the real bird. Let's go ahead and decrease our range here to 10. So again, we can see, and it's about brass tacks, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and throw in another flash of flaps. Got to throw our gear down. Watch the Bravo throttle cam. Now watch. Notice that just sticks it halfway down. Don't miss that. I put it up and then down again, and then it works. There's probably a way to map that better. But I shit you not. One time I put the gear down on the Bravo quadrant, and I damn near landed on the belly because I wasn't like really, you know, I didn't look to see they're all green, until like almost the last minute I looked down. I'm like, oh shit, they're still red. I'm like, wait a minute, it's only halfway down. So keep that in mind when you're flying the Zibo. You're gonna have to put it down, up and down. There's probably a way to map that better. If any of you know that, put it in chat. Alright, SimFans, we're coming in. It's time to land. Let's put another notch of flaps in. We said 146, right? So once we get past, I think once we get to 40, now it already happened. See, it's at 151. So now it's switched to manual, so keep that in mind. Because once you go past a certain flap mode, it'll actually switch where you have to dial it in. It's no longer autopilot mode with the FMC. So important to keep that in mind, SimFans. Any guesses what we'll be landing at? I need to get like the rated descent and like landing descent. I need to get that utility so it can go across the top. I know several streamers use that. I'll look into that so we can see how well we do when we land. We got a good approach going so far, and you know there's gusting winds, but I'm not really seeing it yet. 1,000.
1,000 feet, stabilized, Mr. Birch, altitude set.
All right, I'm about to kick off the autopilot. We're going to switch back on our track IR. Let's put in that last notch of flaps. Let's put this down to 146, and then we'll kill the autopilot. Autopilot is off, SimFans, my aircraft. Got to remember to kick off that auto throttle as well. Happy it looks good. 2 red, 2 white, right where we want it.
400.
146, 147, it's looking approach. Continue.
300.
Let's kick off the auto throttle.
200.
Get our hands on it. Now notice that the throttle's still going to be on there.
100. 20, 10.
Keep that yoke pulled back. I could have trimmed that more. 80 knots. We'll put the reversers off.
80 knots.
Right, reversers off. Turn the auto brakes off. All right, SimFans. Welcome to Atlanta.
Please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the seatbelt sign is turned off. And keep the aisles clear of all...
Yeah, actually, I don't think Asus it's XP11 that rates it. It might be, but I know you can look in Zibo to find it out. Good point.
When you open the overhead compartment...
Yeah, I think there's a menu in the Zibo. I probably landed that a little harder than I wanted to. I didn't trim the aircraft out enough, I think. But you know what? We didn't break the landing gear, so I think we're good, right? And now we can put up our flaps. So put that lever up, and then once we put that up, the spoilers go down automatically. We can turn off our landing lights, which I already had off. I forgot to turn them on, by the way. Oh well. Missed that on the checklist. Welcome to Atlanta, SimFans. Oh boy. Aviation spotter, you are right. We are in unfriendly territory with all these Delta aircraft. I'm not even sure where the American hangar is. Let's go to this view. See, and we'll do free look. Let's find an open... Look at this airport, SimFans. I mean, we're talking seriously busy here, right? Look, we've got over here. Let's go left, and then to the right. We'll pull in right to the southwest. All right. Put a little brake and a lot of right engine. Baby, baby, baby. Oh yeah. Show our taxi light on. Aviation spotter, you must be very familiar with Atlanta, buddy. All right, here we go. Ah, shit. I don't know why. I've just like lost all my... Just going too fast. That was pretty much a noob move. That was back there, but I thought I saw another one up here. Was there one up here, SimFans? I like lost it. I was going too damn fast. Is this it? Here we go. I thought I saw one up here. Here we go. We're going to have the air marshal let us come in here. That's what I love about Track IR. We can like look around. We got a Delta bias. But we'll let the air marshal just kind of guide us in. Notice the people inside the terminal, SimFans. They're walking around. That's Nimbus for you. If I turn that taxi light off so we don't blind them. That's funny, Aces. Yeah, we're all allowed those turns, you know. Boom! How'd we do, SimFans? Right on the line! Okay. Parking brake on. Set. And we're going to go ahead and get the engines turned off really quick here. I won't go through all the procedures of shutting everything down. But flight directors off. Doop. Get these flight directors off. Good enough. Spoilers are off. Flaps are retracted. Auto brakes are off. We already did that. Taxi lights are off. Landing lights off. Runway turn lights are off. Position lights steady. Should have done that when we got off the runway. All right. Good deal. Wing light off. Wheel well off. Good. All good there. Window heat off. Window heat off. APU start. Go ahead and start the APU. That's the way we can switch over. Autopilot bar lever is off. Yep, it's off. Okay, good deal. Taxi lights off. Parking brake set. APU generator switch is on. Of course, once that lights up, and it's lighting up right now. How can we tell? Because the exhaust gas temperature is climbing. And if we go outside, look at all the aircraft. Isn't this cool, fans? And we got the particle system. I hear somebody taking off. Again, this is Nimbus. So as the APU starts up, let's take a look. As you can see, pretty well done. Frame rates aren't too bad on it. Traffic Global, and Traffic Global is like, I don't remember saying it 100%, but it is lit. It is lit, SimFans, because we've got a lot of traffic. And this is not static traffic. This is Traffic Global with all these planes here. And I heard another one just light up that's going to be probably pushing back here. Or taking off, maybe. There's a plane over there. But, yeah, it's pretty good scenery. Let's get back in here into the aircraft and proceed with our shutdown. So we got the APU, so we can switch to APU. It's good. Now we want to do APU generator, of course. So we're going to flip that switch back up. APU bleed is on, so we can keep the airflow going back. I think we're good. Yep, we're good. Okay, engine 1 cut off. So we're going to sadly shut down the engine, SimFans. But you know what? We made it safe. And we're going to hear the engine spool down. And then we're going to hear the passengers starting to get up and everything. There they go. And then, of course, our master caution is going to go on. So we set that off. Wheel chocks, we're not going to worry about that. Well, let's go ahead and do that. So we go over here. We go to... Oh, there goes our jetway. So you can see that connects up to our 737, so that's good. All right. Well, I think we're good to go. So anyway, let's go ahead and turn turn off our beacon, and we'll hear the passengers.
Prepare for arrival and cross-check, thank you.
Prepare for arrival and cross-check. Well, SimFans, that will do it. But do stick around if you want. I always like to do at the end of my videos after I do the conclusion is still do kind of the fly around the payware scenery, if it's payware scenery where we ultimately land. Again, this is from Nimbus, so I'm going to, once I conclude here, stick around if you want. I'm going to do some flybys with the drone camera and also going through the terminals to see the moving people. So again, all of you, I want to thank you, everybody, for your views, for your likes, for your subscriptions. Do please subscribe if you haven't already. We'll appreciate that. And as always, SimFans, take care. Until next time, watch for the Saturday stream. It'll be a fun one, I think. Fly in for Saturday. So check that out. Hope to see you on Saturday, 8:30 Central Standard Time. Again, SimFans, thank you so much for watching and for being with us tonight with this beautiful world of simulation. Until next time, SimFans, blue skies, and we'll see you soon. Take care.